Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge.
Oh, Race for the Galaxy, where do we go wrong? Too many expansions, confusing icons. This is one of those reviews that it's not going to end well for me. People are going to get angry at me because I have the same complaints that most people have, which is if you play this game a lot and you're willing to get over the learning curve, there's a fantastic game here. It plays a lot like Puerto Rico, where if I take an action, everybody else can do it. So you don't want to pick what I do, but if I pick it, I get a little bit of a bonus to it. That's kind of what we're going on here as you build your tableau of cards, hoping to score the same amount of points. And a lot of the cards will have synergy, and you want that synergy to work together. Well, oh my gosh, they're Icon City. And we're going to have people commenting and thinking, hey, this guy, there's not that many icons, etc. But really, there is. And if you can master these icons and they're not a problem for you, kudos to you, because the rest of us are left behind in the dust. You do not want to play this game with somebody who really knows the cards or really knows the game. If you're learning this game, I mean, you almost want to play solo or with somebody else who doesn't know it and just kind of go through the motions until you get what's going on, because you can get really good at this game by knowing the cards and all the icons and how they work together. I played this game so many times, I'm just so lost on it, and I don't want to learn it. At this point, get this game out of here. It's a Purge. Let me say this. It's a really solid game. It's built on the back of a game like Puerto Rico. I mean, no disrespect by saying that. It's really fun. I understand what's going on. There's times in my life where I understood all the icons. It's a really fun experience. I never want to teach this game. I never want to play this game again. It's not something I would recommend unless you're really wanting to crunch down on this and you're good with memorizing icons. Everybody else, it's a Purge. So here's Race for the Galaxy. This is the Rio Grande version of it. You have a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. You're going to have your round summaries. These are big, humongous for a card game, but you're going to need them. And an advertisement, which I always like. I like going back and looking at the old games they were pushing and what games did I play and which ones did I miss out on. So it's very fun for me. You're going to get some victory point chips that will be in here, and then cards. Some people are going to really like the artwork that's involved in this. I think it looks like it may be from a whole bunch of different artists. It's like the same artist. Icon City you're going to have in here, which you probably know if you're already watching this. Icons are clear once you know them, and the game is really well laid out. It's a very well universally loved game, but, it's a card game, so there you go. Here's the rulebook all laid out. The contents, no pictures. But I do like the side here where it gives you like a breakdown easy. And then you can get more details if you want. Here is set up with a picture, how to play the game. This is the game right here. Then everything kind of broken down into more subsets, etc. Game end here. You're going to have your timing if you want a two-player game. And then some of the powers that will be utilized here over. And you can kind of read through those. The rulebook is fine. I mean, the game is full of icons. Everything that you do in this game is going to be icon-based. Sometimes there'll be some words. For the most part, it's icon-based. So you really have to know those icons in order to play this game. The rulebook does a fairly good job. I'm not going to fault that or my dislike of that in the game, but just realize this is a more complicated card game. So you set up the game, you're going to bring out 12 of these victory points per player. And you're going to have these cards that you're going to be playing down in front of you. So the game's going to end when all the victory point chips are gone, or someone has played 12 cards in front of them. At that point, you add up the victory points. Whoever has the most points will be your winner. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about the flow of the game. I'm not really going to teach you how to play per se. But for the most part, what's going to happen is people are going to play a card face down and then flip it over on their turn in order to activate the card, if you will. Now, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing these cards face down in front of you. Once you get 12 are placed face down, then the game will will end, and you'll score up for the most part. But if you look here, and I just want to kind of give it an overflow. So this is going to be the cost associated with the card, and then you have the different phases in the game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the actions you can say if you take. So if I play this card, anybody else who played a 5 can also play and activate this card in that area. So what you're playing can also activate the other players. That's kind of thing. So if you take action 1, the other players can also take action 1. That's kind of how that works. If you take an action 3, everybody else can play action 3. So if you want to take an action 3, that's great. but you don't want to be necessarily the one to play the card. You want somebody else to do that. Now, at the end of your turn, you don't draw up any cards. Drawing up cards is going to be an action that you'll have on these things. And each of these cards are going to do something different. And some of these are just going to score you victory points. So you see the little victory point thing there. So you want to get these cards down in front of you for the most part. So if you kind of look on the cheat sheet here, you can see there are 5 phases to the game, if you will. So Explore, you will draw, if you're the one that plays it, you get a little bit of a stronger power. So Explore, you draw 2 cards and you keep 1. Each other player would draw 1 more card or keep 1 more card or draw 5 or keep 0 depending on the icon. In Develop, you may place 1 development. The developments are going to be the cards with the diamonds on them. So you may place 1 development that's different from those you already own by paying its cost. And then if you're the one that played it, you get to reduce the cost by 1. You can settle. Now the settle cards are going to be the ones that have the circles on them. So the circles and the diamonds are different. And if you want to play a settlement, you can place a non-military world or place a military by paying that cost. And if you're the one that played it, you get to draw an additional card. So that's good. And they consume, there'll be some cards that you'll be putting little icons on here and you can consume them. And you can utilize that consumption in order to gain or trade things that you want to do in the game. And then you'll produce. And anybody that has this icon can produce a good, which will be a little token that you place on it, and then you can spin those later is kind of what's going on. So the general idea of the game is going off this chart here, where if you take an action, you're going to get a bonus for selecting it, but everybody else will also be able to play that action. In the main course of the game, you want to be able to play your cards on somebody else's turn, especially if you don't want the bonus or the bonus isn't as important to you. That's where the game fact comes in. And you want to be able to utilize that space as much as possible while other people are playing cards. So if you know somebody's going to be doing a settlement, you might not want to play a settlement card because you're going to get to settle. You might be more beneficial, say, exploring and then settling on their cards. So that's kind of the rub of this game. There are a lot of videos out for Race for the Galaxy. It's pretty old, but that's a general overview of what you're doing to get to the end of the game. Now, there are just too many icons. I'm not an expert in this game. I probably played this game 10 or 15 times, and I'm still not an expert on what all these things do. But if you want to look at a card here, so there's level 4, phase 4, discard up to 3 novelty goods for 1 a piece, or in the 5, draw 1 card for each blue novelty good you produced. So each one's going to be a little bit different. You're never going to have the right cards, but there's people who are really good at this game. But like I said, general overview of the flow. I'm not trying to teach you every icon or how everything plays. Once again, whoever has the most victory points at the end of the game will win. Who should buy this game? I'll be honest with you. Race of the Galaxy has been out for a while, got a dedicated fan base. If you wanted this game, you probably already bought it. If not, there's Roll for the Galaxy, and there's other games like this, like San Juan, Puerto Rico. Whew. I can't in good conscience recommend this game. It's a fantastic game. There's a lot here. Many people like this game. You just got to be in for the learning curve in Icon City, because this is the Icon Fest like you've never seen before. And if you're in for those 2 things, buy this game. You're going to love it. You're going to like it. Everybody else, if you don't put that much time, if you're the kind of person that plays a game, puts it on the shelf, comes back in 3 months, not for you. This is a game. You're going to need people to play it with. You can't casually play this game. And I know you're going to come and say, well, I casually play it. Good for you. For the rest of us mere mortals, it's not a game you casually play. It's not a gateway game. This is a hardcore Icon City. Judge yourself accordingly. For me, absolute purge. Never want to teach this game again. I never want to play it again.